So that, and I'm hoping this will be really simple, so anybody can do it with a short number of instructions.
Yeah, I want to put together some written instructions for all of this kind of stuff, and get them out so that people can see. So, okay, so I'll go ahead and set up that meeting, and then I think I'll just leave them as recorded and not recorded. Does that make sense?
Set up the non-recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
in the title, you
Yeah.
can just call it non-recorded.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay. That thought yesterday.
You speak, camera.
When I go to the gym, my wife sings before I use it. I don't want this,
And then the other thing I found was the internal mic seems to work better than any of the exterior options. So I'm just going to use the internal one, which is going to go this way anyhow.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was clearer for the distance and everything.
So the people who were in on Zoom, could they hear people in the back of the room?
We'll have to ask the question.
Okay.
And, okay, I guess we've got to select. It should be showing up on that by now. So let's go to, should be mimicking that screen.
Oh, it's this right here. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. No, we're looking at the computer screen. We're just not looking.
Yeah, I had it set up to just mimic it. So on this one, I think we're going to be, I had to kind of figure out this computer. It's hard to get into.
Yeah, it's a little different because it's a Chromebook.
Let's see. It's just here. And how did I get to that? Connected devices, displays, and it was at the bottom of the screen. Oh, here we go, right here.
Perfect. Okay. We've got someone in the chat. Sam. Oh, they're just talking to each other.
Guess we can leave that on. What the heck? Hey, Sam, can you hear us? Check my mic.
Yes, loud and clear. So I think she.
Okay.
We want to move that.
And we're internal mic.
Okay. Yeah, so you want to move the chat box down into the corner?
Yeah, I was just going to turn it off as soon as we start. So I'll do that now. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
I can probably join not on the audio and monitor the chat box.
Okay. Okay, Sam and Kristen, your job is going to be, we're trying out just using our new rotary laptop today. And we experimented with different microphones and just found the one on the laptop seems to be the best. So kind of be gauging the audio quality for listening to people at the back part of the room and that type of thing. And just after the meeting, let us know how it sounds.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's okay, we won't buy a fancy pants microphone. All right, great.
He's already gone to the scoreboard. I was surprised that the service. Oh. Thank you.
Yeah, this has got like it's a house.
Hey, Sam and Kristen. Another thing that let us know the video quality of this computer. It looks a little suspect from this end compared to what you saw like last week with Ken's computer. So let us know if it looks pretty crummy, during, after the meeting. All right, thank you.
I'm doing it. I'm teaching this English. I'm telling students, particularly seventh graders who hadn't sat
Oh, yeah.
last year on campus.
We got a-
They were a little bit-
we got a wide angle camera.
It was definitely an uptick.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that.
Yes.
How are you?
Not sure.
Hey, how's it going? Like I actually didn't know.
I didn't know the interesting.
My wife, my daughter. Yeah, they all didn't do much.
Didn't do anything, did it?
We-
Ring, ring, ring,
The
ring.
fire
Should
bell.
should I pull the alarm?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Pull the fire alarm.
Nobody's listening to you.
I know, come on. Ding, ding, ding. We're late, because I'm late.
But we will be.
Thank you.
How come you're late?
My dog made my homework.
I've heard that one.
Yeah. Hi, John.
Yeah.
Morning. Nice to see you. Thank you. In person.
Mask is- I know, hang on. I have the wrong paper. I have the wrong agenda.
You're saying you have a hidden agenda?
I do have a hidden agenda. For sure. Where's
So does five.
who?
Ooh.
We were trying to look down at it yesterday. I know you. How are you? Hey, Lauren.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay, all right, let's just call it to order and let's just get rolling. Okay, so who wants to be sergeant at arms today? Actually, before we get rolling.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Thank you, Jesus.
Love to be.
That'd be amazing. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's do the four-way test. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair law? Third,
Get aware of
fourth,
beneficial.
fifth, is it fun? Six, seven, eight, go Hawks!
Okay, awesome. Now I don't know what we do next.
Good addiction.
Oh, Eileen. Is not here. Does anyone else have an inspirational quote they'd like to share with the club this morning? Yeah, you guys look inspired. You have one, Jim? You have one, Gary?
Yeah,
Amazing, awesome.
I'll give you an Irish blessing.
Okay.
Yay.
May love and laughter light your days and warm your heart and home. May good and faithful friends be yours whenever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless your world with joy that long endures. May all life's passing seasons bring the best to you and yours.
Very nice.
The Irish in me.
What?
It's the Irish in me.
I did send you a good Irish joke
I
yesterday.
saw you that, and I did respond.
You did. Okay, so what do you call an Irishman? What is it, Gary? What do you call an Irishman in the backyard who sits in the backyard too long?
Possible furniture.
Patty furniture.
Patio furniture.
Oh.
Okay, it was better when I texted it. Okay, so do we have any guests here today? Doug. And our speaker today.
Bob Holly's from like south, like Seattle or
North Seattle?
Yep.
Rotary
And he
Club?
lives in Lake Stevens and he's thinking about joining because it's a long drive and has a lot of friends down there, so he's checking us out.
I hear you have an amazing house too.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Did somebody sell it to him in this club?
He sold it to himself,
He did.
actually. Yeah, I got the seller on that one. Okay, so visitors' birthdays, and our website has changed. So birthdays, anniversaries, Rotary anniversaries are missing this morning. So happy birthday to everyone and the Zoomers. If there's anyone out there with a birthday, Rotary anniversary, or wedding anniversary. Gauntlet next week. Announcements. Do you have any announcements? Other than we will be meeting the Friday before Labor Day. Usually we take that off, but we will be having an actual meeting. Or do we have any other? Okay, that's enough. So let's go to Ken. Do you have any past president?
I do not.
You do not.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving along. Treasurer report. Lori.
Yeah, so if you haven't done your dues yet, today's a great day to do it.
Do the dues.
Do the dues, yeah, and we're starting to get a little bit of money in from ticket sales, so be sure and turn in your tickets to Angie and the money to me.
I have more for anyone who needs them. I'm actually here. Yes, I'm actually here. Look at that.
Guest appearance.
Yes, it's not gonna happen.
Did you get fired?
Not quite. Did you see me in my car this morning doing my meeting in there?
I did not, because I pulled in like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that we worked out some of the things, so I was here, but John's got it all covered. But yes, if I have tickets, I won't be in person in the meeting again for a couple weeks, so if you need them, either get them from me now, or you'll have to email, text, or whatever to be doing.
Is there someone else that can bring tickets to the meetings on Fridays?
Sure.
Possibly.
If someone,
Is there anyone interested in being our ticket czar?
I can keep track of them while I'm sitting here, so
Oh, that's right.
we'll
Yeah,
talk.
we'll just have them at the front desk.
okay, yeah, we can figure it out.
What do these tickets do? Like speeding tickets or?
Well, now that the chief is no longer in our club,
Yeah.
police chief, so therefore our coin quest raffle. Used to be our duck dash, but we ran out of water. So now we're Viking coin quest
Oh, okay.
with huge prizes. Okay, resident-elect, anything?
Well, I have a couple things. One is, someone from the food bank, Susan Rack, she came over to the booth the other day and said they're having a food drive. I guess it might need some help, September 3rd and 4th from 10 to 6 p.m. at Jay's Market. And if you want her phone number, Susan's phone number is 425-335-1418. So everybody write that down. That's what I have for there. And then I have a little update on the Sea Scouts that Kim and Doctor talked about. I did talk to the Scout office a little bit. They're kind of excited. So probably next week when everybody kind of gets back from vacations and things like that, we'll try and get that kind of ironed in and ironed out and see where that's going. So that's kind of exciting. And then the corks and kegs and coins. Have we heard of this? Yeah. We haven't even heard of it yet. Well, we're having one. It's on September 24th, and September 20th we'll be going live. There's a lot of players helping out with this. I just want to reiterate the importance of it. We've got 2 weeks to get everything kind of in. And I just sent an email out. We're expecting everybody to bring in 2 bottles of beer, 2 bottles of great wine, and a basket. And I'm hearing things bubbling up. We're gonna get the basket in. We're gonna do those kind of things. And Brian.
Can you speak up a little bit and give it a
Wait,
message? I'm getting a chat message. Can you speak
Oh,
up
okay.
a little bit? So.
Yes.
You can hear.
We'll walk up there. I could, I guess. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now online? Oh, now it's good? Okay.
Sam can.
Anyhow, so we got the September 24th. Where's the speaker at? So, right here?
Uh-huh.
So September 24th is the Corks and Kegs and Coins.
What?
We can't hear you now, Chris.
Who are you? Anyhow, forget about it. So we're having an auction coming up, and it's going to be online on the 20th. And so everybody needs to bring in 2 bottles of wine, 2 beers, and a basket. And we've got the great Jim Steinberg here is donating his cabin. So for a live auction, so that's fantastic. That's always a great selling
It's
item.
horrible, it smells,
Yeah, don't go there.
it's really small, don't do it.
So anyhow, you got to kind of get kicked up on that. We also have a procurement. Mr. Connor over here is Connor Davis is kind of helping with procurement. So do you have anything you want to add? Or?
Yeah, so if there are any new businesses in the area, I knew, like I've reached out to Meatheads, they're going to put something together for us, but if there are new businesses to the area, not just Lake Stevens, but the surrounding region that would like to support Rotary, through under the pretense that it is, of course, going to go to support student scholarships at Lake Stevens, reach out to them, forward their contact information along to me, and I'd be happy to go out and pick up whatever needs to. If there's a physical item, if it's a gift certificate, whatever the case might be, brainstorm, think of some businesses in the area or individuals that might be up to support the event.
Awesome, great, thanks. And we need to help support him. So if he's got some homework for us to do, we need to jump on it. He'll be assigning that out. So thanks a lot, Connor.
Will there be a test?
There could be.
I don't like quizzes.
So anyhow, and then so I think Brian is taking all the beer and the wine and the gifts over to his place, and you can just stop by anytime for the most part. He is busy. He can drop stuff off over there, so he's kind of tracking that. We have very little right at the moment coming in, so we've got like a couple of weeks to get this together because she would like, Madam President would like to take all the pictures of everything like September 10th or there shortly after. The 20th is when we go live, so we want to have everything looking good. Can you hear me now?
I
And
think
so,
they can.
good.
They look really enthused.
I should. And so we, yeah, so we got a couple things we're still working on, maybe the location, we kind of have a few snafus here and there, but afterwards, if anybody's interested, we're gonna meet over at Brian's across the street to kind of button up a few things. And we have a gift garden, a garden of gifts, card garden. We have one, so let's kind of go out to Target and all your favorite places and see if somebody could donate a gift card, we could put it into the gift garden.
Yes, and write the amount on the back, please, or just look in your purse. Like,
Yeah.
everybody gets gift cards in the mail.
Right.
And if you're not gonna use them, or you forgot about them, or they're for Christmas or holiday or birthday, whatever, bring them in. And if you know an amount, or if you can look it up, usually there's a website or a number on the back that you can call to get the amount. That'd be great, so that we can do a value to the booming garden.
And one last thing is, we're working on beer and wine from vendors. There's been some thought about either they could come to where we're gonna kind of have a little show that night, in person kind of a thing. That they can either do a video clip, or we could kind of put it out there like as a commercial or whatever, or they can come in person. So we're kind of looking at those aspects of getting that kind of tied together. You know, Tracy's working on that, and Scott's working with Mary Hill, and I'm working with San Michelle Winery, who's very excited about helping us out. I just need to get with Jim and get the last year's order to try and kind of pull that all in. But we don't have much time, so let's get revved up. This is the big wheel. We're all big wheels here, so let's get rolling.
We're rev. Jim,
Any questions?
any questions?
So I mean, there's beer, wine, auction items, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and you can either bring them here, and we'll take care of them for you, not just bring one in the building, because the superintendent will bless us.
Yeah.
But baskets, anything, we'll handle it for you, or take it to Brian's clubhouse. And Brian's office is right across the street. In that parking lot, there's a bridge to the building, sidewalk. He's right there as you go across the bridge, so he's very easy to find. He's got a to-go window.
Yeah.
You can even accept it through the window.
You have an opener?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
What do you think I'm doing with you guys' beer and wine?
There'd be a lot of nice bottles.
Exactly. Hey, I'm trying.
Brian's
I
office
would
recycling
suggest
space.
a auction item, which would be Brian's barbecue. It's smoked pork, pulled pork, best I've ever had.
Brian has a secret barbecue sauce making skill that we're trying to figure out how to make money off of. Okay, club services. Mr. Arlington was here. Keith Zoomer? Gone. He was on there. Okay, community services. Brian, can you report?
Nothing to report.
How's the farmer's market going?
Farmers market went well. It's done, I guess. But, no, it went well. I mean, I think the two that I went to, got a lot of people come talk, but then more so they wanted the free water.
Yeah,
Which is
that was
a
my
huge hit to
experience.
get them at least to come in.
Yeah.
But then we need a trap to keep them there for about 15 minutes. And then if we can warm the deck, I'll talk about insurance too. If we warm the deck, we can get donations that way. Give us $20 and I'll stop talking. That's one thing next year. I didn't think of this till now, so I think we can make some money though. So I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, the water was genius, because that's, I worked it Wednesday at first shift, and it was really fun. Everybody, you know, they all had a smile on their face, they knew who we were, and they loved our free water sign that they could see from across the park. So you could see them coming towards us.
Yeah.
But we do need to capture it somehow. Okay, so foundation, Jim Hagan. Anything? Awesome, great. Okay, international services, Tracy's not here. Kristen, do you have anything for international today?
Just that we had a meeting last week. There was a lot of information. Currently, Peter is in Honduras. Well, he was there last week. It's pretty amazing. So please consider supporting a student. Please, please, please.
Okay, Lance, good morning.
Good morning. So my only update is I'm catching up on Rotary stuff this morning. please watch for the email from me asking for your birth date for the background checks.
Chris, anything else to say about Sea Scouts? Or the
Scouts, no.
Scouts?
Well, if anybody, so PAC 88 and Troop 88 are looking for a new place to hang out. They need a new meeting place. So if anybody knows, when I went down to the orthopedic, orthodontics guy down there, they met there one time before in the past, and they're gonna think about it. So if anybody knows of anything, I don't know about like Philtruck Elementary School, Ken, or anything like that, or how does that all go down?
Just gotta go through our community services department.
Okay.
So, yeah, and yeah, we're not really renting a whole lot out right now just because of the situation, but.
Okay,
We're getting that, can you speak up again in the chat?
that's it.
Rochelle, can you repeat anything important there?
Where's the speaker?
On the computer.
Oh. Nothing important. Okay, public relations, Angie.
So I went ahead.
Can you hear Angie?
Hang on.
It's, yeah, it's
Oh,
probably best.
come up front, join me.
All right, so I went ahead and I got our Quirks and Kegs event posted as a Facebook event. And I sent out invites to everybody that I was friends with and from our Quirks and, or from our Rotary page, sorry, I'm trying to multitask right now. From our Rotary page, so hopefully it went out to like over 150 people just on Facebook to where they could respond and everything like that. I'm trying to get the save the date email out from Greater Giving to our whole club and Friends of Rotary lists, hopefully today. If I don't do it today, it's not gonna happen until Monday. But it seems like we're getting a lot of foot traffic looking at our Facebook page and also our YouTube videos. Surprisingly, so, yay.
Okay. Chris, would you like to join me up here for your comment?
Okay, the question would be is, so, just for thinking purposes, fund a cause. We talked about the Caring Bridge and things like that, so if anybody has any. What?
Bridge receiving,
Bridge receiving.
which is a bridge to care.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
If anybody has any ideas on, fund a cause or whatever, send me an email or, Rochelle an email so we can kind of get that wired in and we can go from there. That was it.
Thank you very much. Okay, any other comments before we go to the show or the warm up? Nothing? Okay. Sergeant at Arms,
Hey,
thank you very
good
much.
morning, everybody.
Howdy,
howdy.
Mr. Sergeant at Arms, Pro Tem.
Chief troublemaker.
Well, you can want to do the wrap up.
Okay, let's try this one more time.
Good.
Good morning, everybody. All right. Okay, what I want to do is everybody's kind of sitting there a little quiet. I want everybody to stand for a second. Stand up. Let's shake it out. Get ready for some fun. Get ready for some fun, okay? Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna skip pins and badges. We are going to skip Blue Friday, and we're gonna go right to some music trivia, okay? If you know the answer, blurt it out, okay, be the honor system. If you know the answer, blurt it out. If you don't know the answer, it's a buck. Okay, here we go. You have to be correct. If you don't know the answer, it's a buck. What legendary rock band had a drummer named
Rolling Stones.
Stones. Gotta finish it. What legendary rock band? Who blurted? Blurters.
Florida's. You guys are going to Charlie Watts.
Legendary rock band had the name Bonzo as the drummer. Bonzo.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Who didn't know? Raise your hand if you didn't know. Get out, Buck. Buck.
Led Zeppelin. John Bonham. Come on. Greatest drummer of all time. except for me.
Bonzo. Sorry. Led Zeppelin.
He knew how to play the bonzo drums.
Oh. My students would be like, you must be a dad.
All right, here we go. Vince Neil was the lead singer for the band. Nobody knows? Motley Crue. Nice.
Motley Crue.
Wow.
Nope, didn't listen to Motley.
My wife would have known.
I thought we might have a little money on that one. Thank you. You're on a good play. You can sit down now. Thank you. Thank you. The belly's getting full. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. One more, and then we're gonna go to Happy Bucks. But it's gonna be kind of a double whammy. Are you guys ready? Are you rockers ready? All right. The lyrics of what classic rock song tell the story of the burning down of the Montreux Casino in Switzerland in 1971? Yeah, nice. We all okay. Everybody else says.
What? What was it?
Smoke on the water.
It was Smoke on the Water.
Thank you.
Wait, you said that was the last question. I know, I said it was a double whammy.
The only guitar riff I ever learned to play.
Sorry, I hope everybody at home is keeping track.
Double whammy.
You know,
Name
the
the band
of money.
that played that song.
You probably had that.
All right, you're
You
good.
probably had that 8-track, didn't you?
All right. We're gonna go to Happy Bucks. Please be seated. You guys are all very good sports. Joyce? Joyce is happy to be here. Joyce, we're happy you're here. You almost reached the limit of good sports.
I was wondering if you'd remember me.
Of course he does. Is happy?
Oh, no, I thought I was still paying as our last call. But I am definitely happy that this game is over.
Ryan, you're due, but you're happy. Shout it out.
I'm having my son's coming home from A school for a week.
Where? Oh, good.
Pensacola.
Swabby,
I'm happy this week's over. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna elaborate. I'm just happy that week's over.
Oh, I don't have to pay? No. Oh, I'm happy to be here with a bunch of old friends and, probably some new ones here in the crowd.
Careful using that word old.
Well.
Gary, what do you say?
Good to see you, Doug. Good to see you again.
And met a lot of new students last night at open house. So just, yeah, really pumped to start the school year.
I'm happy this week I got my IRS tax refund. Oh, it finally came.
That's great.
That's a good deal.
Buy a
I
new
got some
Tesla?
money now.
You got all this. Shout out your happiness.
Go, Larry.
Come on, Larry. You didn't have to put pressure on. You pressure, go Hawks.
That was the worst happiness.
I'm happy because I've never seen anybody so happy and motivated as Kevin.
Can I be happy to announce the martini parties tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here? You're all invited. It's free booze, free food, music.
Oh, yeah, you had me at martini.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's great. Tell more about that. Where is it at?
it's just.
What?
It's right on the corner of North Lake Shore Drive. It's the
What
iconic
is?
House on the lake
It
on the
says
corner.
$50, but it's free, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lance, did you hear what they said?
I think it's got martini.
So Bob from Rotary Club in North Seattle is having a huge martini party at his gorgeous home on the lake, right, like 2 blocks from our meeting here, right on the corner, that big white farmhouse, farmhouse looking house, everybody talks about. Friday night, which is tomorrow night, there's, Saturday, today's Friday.
Well, it is.
Saturday night, what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Free,
And
did I say that?
no cover, which is RMO, and free booze, which is RMO. Music, live band, food, Rotarians, fun, lake views, gorgeous, nice weather, Lake Stevens, all the fun.
And it's
Free
on our
booze.
website. Yes.
And it's on our website if you'd like to reference our website.
Okay.
All right.
1 minute.
All right.
We're on time.
I have 13 very sad dollars for the loss of our service. Let's keep it
I have 5 happy bucks. We have another member of our family that joined the fire community, our son Evan, after 9 years of being a commercial real estate broker, has tested and joined the Kirkland Fire Department as an EMT firefighter. So, joined the fire family. So cool.
Well, I'm happy it's Friday. Right there with you.
I'm happy to see the chief.
Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Oh, what?
All right, so I am happy it's Friday, happy we seem to be working the kinks out of our new technical system here, and happy because I'm headed over for a weekend of diving into sport, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
Zoomers.
Hey, Zoomers.
Yeah.
Let's see, who wants to be happy out there?
Well, I heard one from the chat from Sean.
All right.
Hang on.
I'll be $7 happy to see Kevin back in the saddle again in a role that he should be in. So I'll add that to my 3 bad answers to your questions.
So Sean Frederick says he's putting in 10 happy bucks for it being Friday and learning that a coworker is his remission from cancer. Have a great day, everyone. It looks like he's probably already off. Can't stay.
Cool.
Stay safe and take care.
That was awesome.
Cool.
I'm happy that I knew all the answers to the rock questions. $1 happy.
Nice.
And I have 10 happy bucks. My niece and my grandniece contracted COVID in California, and they are on the mend. They are, she's a little bit nervous about the whole information about the vaccine, so she hadn't been vaccinated, but they are on the mend. It was a tough 3 weeks, but they're doing much better. So 10 happy bucks. That is all.
Great. Okay, is that everyone?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm throwing in a happy 20 because it's good to see you all, and I need to find myself too. So.
We're gonna do the drawing.
Do we have a raffle today?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, do we have a raffle?
Yeah.
We do. Who's ready to win? Does anyone want to take a bet on who's gonna win?
I've lost enough money today.
You have more.
I do.
Would you mind calling?
Can you hold this for me? Last 3 numbers are 450.
450.
Missed it by 1.
Right here, I think.
Nice. Some people forgot their glasses today.
Community glasses.
Maybe we can get tickets. I thought are just a huge number, nothing else. We'll keep this cute.
Cool.
Hey, Gary, do you want to talk about our second club meetings?
Sure.
Since we've established a Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday will be the inauguration of our first Tuesday and third Tuesday evening meetings over at Brian's. So as an inauguration for that at 5:30, it's a 1-hour meeting. And this was really brought to us by Connor and Kyle and others who can't always make Friday morning meetings. It's an alternative time. Come join them and let's have some fun. And let's get some new members.
Are those dates for those going to be posted on the website?
Yes.
I believe they're on.
Brian's office
First
is
and
right
first
across
and
the
third
street.
Tuesday. And our emphasis, we're calling it Rotarians in Action, and the emphasis of the evening meeting people, because we're not calling it a separate club, it's just additional meeting times for us right now. Rotarians in Action, and they're gonna pick a service project or several, and that's gonna be their focus is service. So we're all welcome to join. They're welcome to come Friday mornings. You guys are welcome to come in the evenings too, and we'll do a service project for the city. Yeah.
Forgot to tell everybody that the garden's doing well still. So we've got the garden basket back here. We've got rhubarb still, squash, blueberries, that little container's blueberries. And then I've got some pickles that I haven't conned my family into eating yet. So I'd like to take some pickles. They're sweet. There's bread and butter and dill. So
I have to plug in for the zucchini because I took it last Friday and we put it in the veggetti and made noodles out of it. And it was amazing. We made a lasagna out of it. Lori's zucchini mix. Yeah. So highly recommend. 5 stars. Okay, now I think
It's speaker
it's
time.
dinner time.
Well, Doug Warren is going to give us an update on what's going on at the food bank.
Did you guys, so we have Doug Warren, who's going to give us an update on the food bank. My interpretive dance.
Stand close over there so they can hear me. Thanks for letting me come in. I actually have a video presentation in it, but the problem is I'm not the tech person. So you're going to get just me talking. You know, many of you have been involved with the food bank over the years. There's some people here that Jim and Gary are on our building committee. So I appreciate everything that the Rotary has done in support of the food bank over the years. You know, I got involved with the food bank building committee probably 12 to 15 years ago. It's a little fuzzy on when that timeline was, but they came to me and asked if I would be willing to be on the building committee to build a new food bank. And at that point, I had no involvement with the food bank. I just was a community member that they reached out to. And at that time, we had just acquired a piece of property that is on the south side of the parking lot at Ebenezer Lutheran Church. So if you pull into Ebenezer Lutheran Church, there's the paved lot, and then you'll see where it's grass, and there's often trailers parked there. There'll be maybe a food bank truck there. There's like a race trailer that's sitting there a lot of times that they're using the property. So that was the original plan, was to build a food bank there. Well, we ran into a couple of issues. One of them was limited use at Ebenezer because currently we serve 1 day a week on Thursdays out of Ebenezer Lutheran Church. Has everybody been to the food bank? Raise your hand if you've been to the food bank. If you haven't been to the food bank, go to the food bank and check it out. You need to go see the facility just to see how crappy it is. Just to see that one person at a time can wheel an Albertsons cart through there, but really there's not a whole lot of room there. So first problem was that we could only serve 1 day a week. And that was just the church has other things going on. And they didn't want the parking lot because it was going to be shared parking lot space. They didn't want a lot of use going on there. Well, the other problem that we ran into was just the pure cost to build a building on that site because there was a lot of land work to do on that site, and also the size of the building that we could build there. And so that kind of gets into the rest of the story. So that was 12 or 15 years ago. So fast forward to just a few years ago when John Spencer was our mayor, and I remember sitting down with John and Patrick McCourt at Conto's, and we had a napkin out. We started drawing up what this new food bank would look like. And the reason we were drawing that up is we had a concept already in place for the food bank, but we started going down the road of a new concept. And that was to, let's see, there's a couple words I'm supposed to throw out because these are words that we're supposed to use like 4 times every time I say this. So collaboration is one of the first ones. Collaboration, everybody loves that. I'm sure, Kevin, you're getting this all the time, collaboration in your efforts. So they wanted us to, we started talking about collaborating with other entities. And at that time, the family services here in Lake Stevens had just pulled out. And so we had no family services here. And if you think about it, family services are serving the same clients as the food bank. The food bank have people coming there looking for food, maybe dog food, diapers, a few other things, but we don't service other needs for the same clients that maybe need help with doing a resume, for job placement, for keeping the power on, for whatever other services that they might need. So we started with the idea, what if we could build a building that could house all of this and serve all the same clients? Not that the food bank would take that on, but that the building would have that. So we drafted that up. I think it was Patrick that was drawing that on the napkin, wasn't it? Yeah, drawing it up on a napkin. We're like, okay, this is a great idea. We should take and run with this. So I took it back to my board, said, we're going to build a building that's going to house family services. And they were like, time out, hold on. We're a food bank. We don't do all these other services. So that's where we said, well, we need to collaborate and find other entities that will work together with us. And so that was the vision going from there. So there we needed to find a piece of land. And that search took a long time. We went to a lot of different places thinking, well, this is like the perfect piece. It ought to be for sale. And this was actually, I don't know, what, 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And even at that point, everybody thought their land was worth way more than what the food bank was going to have the money to be able to spend on. And actually, some of those pieces are still sitting for sale, which is kind of interesting because they probably were worth asking more than what they were worth. Well, through generous donation of a donor, along with working with the city, we acquired the land that is to the east of Trestle Station. So if you haven't been there, 20th Street Southeast, as you're heading to go down the Trestle Station's on your right-hand side, the north side of the road. Just to the east of that is the piece of property that was acquired for the food bank. So it was donated to the food bank after it was purchased from the city. City gave a pretty good, sorry, I'm not used to wearing one of these. City gave a pretty good deal to the donor. The donor bought it, turned around, gave it to the food bank. So now we've got a piece of land that's going to be big enough to house our vision of this building. So then we start down the process of getting bids for construction 3 years ago. Now you think about the bids for construction, and I'm sure all of you have heard the horror stories of the prices of everything coming up over the last 3 years, right? So every time we get a bid, that bid's no good by the time that they hand it to you. But so we start getting bids for this, and we're like, okay, we're ready to go on this project. So actually 2 years ago, May, of 2019, we had our ground breaking. So I don't know who all was there. I know that Jim and Gary, and I don't know, I know John, you weren't there, were you? But we piled up some dirt. We got some shovels from Ace that I spray painted gold on it, on them. And we've got some hard hats, and I've got the goofy picture of me in a hard hat with a shovel. We're like, okay, we get the state representatives. We're ready to go. This is 2 years ago, right? So we break ground, and then all of a sudden the city goes, hey, hold on, stop. And this was just after John was out of office. I got a little whispering in my ear from the city that said, you need to hold up for a minute because we're doing all this frontage improvement. And that part of our cost was like $300,000 to do the frontage improvement, because if it's your land, you have to pay to do it. You got to pay to put the sidewalk in. You got to pay to put in the utilities through there and all that stuff. And I'm like, really? Why do we have to pay for this? We don't care. We don't want this stuff, but it's your land. You got to do it. Well, the city said, here's the deal. We're going to have to go all the way up to your property, and it's already done on the other side of your property. There's no way we can leave it like that. So if it doesn't get done, we're probably just gonna have to do that. Okay, good. That's good advice. So we held off for a year while they did all those frontage improvements along 20th. And I don't know if you saw it, but it would have been all the way up to our property was done, and it was done on the other side. And then they came along and did in front of us. Matter of fact, as they were doing that, our project manager, Patrick McCord, came to him and said, hey, wait a minute, we need to run I think it was a water line. We need to run a water line underneath where that sidewalk is. Can you guys hold off on what you're doing? Let us come in and get the water line run so we don't have to break up the sidewalk later and redo it. And the city said, sure. So the partnership with the city has been phenomenal in this. So now if you go by there right now, the dirt work is for the most part done. There's a retaining wall up against the retention pond in the back. There's, there was a huge pile of dirt there for months and months and months, waiting for it to dry out. So then once it dried out enough, then we got the dirt work done. And by October 4th, you'll see a paved lot. So it'll be a paved parking lot, basically. To get to that point, $1 million. So to get to a paved lot was $1 million. Now, we had a lot of help from the state. They came along with about $500,000. But so the money that we already had, the money that you helped generate over the last 12 or 15 years since I got involved with the building committee way back when, and we've been talking about this project all along, got us a paved lot. So now where are we at? Well, so the bid to get vertical is $2.2 million. So $2.2 million to get the building built that will give us a food bank that will have our warehouse. Currently, our warehouse is up at Soper Hill Road, what we call a food fort, right next to the community garden, between the community garden and senior center. That's where we store all of our food. City charges us, I don't know, like $10 a month for that place. So again, really, cooperation from the city is phenomenal. We are serving out of currently 4 locations. So let me kind of reel that back a little bit and talk to you about how we got to there. So told you about how I got involved with the food bank, that they just came to me and said, hey, would you be willing to help out as a community partner like some of you have been brought into? Well, I'm a Lion, sorry. And at the time, I was sitting in a Lions Club meeting, and the current president of the food bank, Mitch Robinson, stood up and said, we're looking for this was a few years ago, some strong young men to come in and help volunteer at the food bank. And I didn't know why I was asking for strong young men. I just said, hey, I could probably volunteer once a week. So this was about 8 years ago. So I showed up. Well, the reason was we pack all of our food, all of our dry food in banana boxes. Well, a banana box will hold 50 1-pound packages of spaghetti. So that's 50 pounds, right? Well, those get stuck on shelves anywhere from all the way to the ground to the top shelf is about this high. So most of the volunteers that work at Food Bank are retired people. And the retired people weren't necessarily able to lift a 50-pound box of spaghetti up onto the top shelf. So that was my job when I showed up on Wednesday mornings. Instead of going to work, I'd show up on Wednesday mornings and go stack boxes of pasta and things like that. I was just hustling around the Food Bank. So I did that for a couple of years, and then Mitch came to me and asked if I would come be on the board. So I got to the board, and as many of you know, I've been the president of the chamber here in Lake Stevens twice, so I'm pretty experienced with being on boards. And it was interesting. That board was running from bylaws from 1983, and they had a very inactive board. There were just a lot of people that were volunteers at the food bank that have been kind of roped into being board members. And so they just sat there while the president and the treasurer did everything. And so once I got on the board, started getting active, the first thing I said is we got to rewrite these bylaws. Then we've got to bring ourselves back up to the 20th century here and just have practices that make more sense. So eventually I ended up becoming the president of the food bank, which I have been now for 5 years. It's supposed to be a 2-year term. When, in matter of fact, in bylaws, we wrote it as a 2-year term, but you could have an extra 2-year term, if you so desired. So at the end of that 4 years was right at the beginning of this year where we knew we were really going to be deep into this building project. And as an executive order, we decided to have our executive team all stay on for one additional year to not kind of upset the apple cart with the leadership that was there as far as how we were to the community. So at that time, when I started volunteering at the food bank 8 years ago, we were serving under 1,000 people a month. So, you know, let's just put the number, round the number to about 1,000 people a month. When I took over as president 5 years ago, we were still around 1,000, 1,200 people a month. And it really depends on the time of the year. Summertime, we served a lot less people, although we did have more kids that were in need of service, but our numbers would tail off a lot in the summertime. And then wintertime, January is typically one of our busiest times. And so January 5 years ago might have been 1,200 people that we were serving. So then we fast forward to COVID times, right? 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Just prior to that, January of 2019, we served, I think the number was like 1,500 people. So it's just grown over time, right? It's gone from under 1,000 people to 1,500 people, but we know our community's growing. So we're seeing 50% more people come through the food bank, but that's okay. It's the growth of the community. At that same time, during that growth though, one thing that we did, there was kind of an unwritten policy in the food bank when I came in that we only served 9 meals a month. So if you think about that, how many meals do you eat in a month? Some of you more than others, but like 90, right? I mean, there's 3 meals a day, 30 days in a month, that's 90 meals, and we were serving 9. So that just didn't seem right. And I want to give you a reason why I think that's not right. What most people think of, because I've heard this, actually after our last presentation, I found out that there were some people that still had this belief that we're enabling people and that these are homeless that are coming to us. That, you know, that the typical homeless people, you know, if I drive I-5 south, I don't do that very often, but I just drove I-5 south the other day, just before 50th on the right-hand side of the road, there's an encampment there, right? That's not who comes to the food bank. That is not who comes to the food bank. Our typical client is there for less than 3 months. They just needed a leg up. They're out of work. Maybe it's a mom and kids that left a bad situation. There's all kinds of reasons that they come to the food bank, but they're not perennial users of the food bank. There are some, absolutely, of course there are. But the average person that comes to the food bank is there less than 3 months just to help get back on their feet. So even at that, our numbers had grown to 1,500 people, January of 2020, I guess. So fast forward to this January, and our numbers were 3,700 people that we served. So as we thought COVID was slowing down, right? We're serving 3,700 people. Even this summer, so summertime is generally our slowest time. Even this summer, our numbers have been over 3,000. I think last month was 3,300 people that we served. So how do you do that at a little tiny Ebenezer food bank? You know, the basement, we're in the basement of the church, right? Well, you don't. So first off, that's why we had storage. We used to have storage in 7 different storage lockers, you know, the storage units. We consolidated all that into the food fort that we rent from the city, but still we couldn't serve the capacity. The other thing is not everybody can come on Thursdays in the afternoon. You know, it just doesn't work out for everybody's schedule. So we needed to find different locations throughout the community that were closer to where people were, and we needed to be able to serve at different times. So we currently serve Thursdays out of Ebenezer Lutheran Church, Wednesdays out of Calvary Chapel, Tuesdays out of Assembly of God, and Saturdays out of the Lake Church. And the Lake Church is the one that's over just outside of Frontier Circle. That one is pretty exciting because that has a lot of undocumented people that come through that have not wanted to go seek services because they're afraid that they're going to be documented. So I told you about the unwritten rule about the 9 meals a month. We blew that apart. We put in a written food distribution policy. Long story short is you can get all the food you want. Get all the food you need. It's more eloquent than that, but that's basically what the story is that you can get everything that you need. 90 meals a month, you get 90 meals a month. So that, not only are we seeing more people, over 3,000 people in a month, but we're serving them 90 meals a month. So we went from serving 1,000 people 9 meals a month to over 3,000 people 90 meals a month. So that also, putting it out to those other churches that have helped with the distribution has really been big. Of course, that makes a big deal for volunteers because now instead of only serving 1 day a week and only serving 1,000 people, now you're serving over 3,000 people 4 days a week. That's about 4 times as many volunteers that it requires. So it's been a real issue with keeping and maintaining volunteers, especially during COVID. Because like I said, like a lot of our volunteers are retired people. When COVID first hit, a lot of those people said, "Hey, I can't come in. I'm vulnerable. I can't come in." I was driving the truck 1 or 2 days a week during March and April of last year because I wasn't working as much, and so I jumped on the truck. So now here we are. We're serving 4 out of 4 churches, 4 days a week. 5 minutes, okay. And we are ready to build this building. We just need $2.2 million, give or take, right? So we're out telling the story to the community because we want community involved. We'd love to see it be like the Kids Oasis was back in the 90s, like the Boys and Girls Club was back in early 2000s, where we get the community involved. We know we're going to be getting more grants from the state, the county, and the city. That's where big money is going to come from. But we also want to make sure that everyone feels a connection to this because of the fact that it's not just going to be a food bank, but it's also going to be this community resource center for the family services. And then the other piece I want to point out to it is we're looking at it being an emergency, Kevin might know the terminology, an emergency shelter, especially with the fire department that's going to be next door there, that it would be just a great resource to the community if there ever is a need. Hopefully there never is, but if there's ever a need for the community to have a place to come for food, shelter, things that they might not have readily available to them, we have that right there. And there's nowhere else like that really in this area, especially on this side of the trestle. So that's going to be an exciting piece. Like I said, I was told like October 4th, October 5th, we'll have a paved lot. We hope to start going vertical in the spring, pending. It's all going to be about financing. And so we're heavily going after grants from, like I said, besides private grants, the state, the county, and the city, and then private individuals. We've got fundraisers coming up. There's one coming up September 19th. It's a smaller fundraiser at the rooftop of my office, which is Larson and Warren Financial Group. We have one coming up in November. I don't remember the date. It's Empty Bowls, November 6th or something like that. Anybody? I think that's about that date. It's on Saturday, the first Saturday in November. So since I only have a couple minutes, let me just leave it for questions. See if anybody has questions about the new building or food bank or anything.
I've got 2 quick questions.
Yes.
One is you'd mentioned you'd gone to 3,000 at 90 meals per month. Is it really 90 or somewhere in between where it was and 90? It's just an average.
So there's probably one family that comes through and gets all of their food from the food bank. And there's still people that are just coming through getting supplements.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah. So
yeah, and then one other quick is more of a comment. I was on a fishing trip with a bunch of contractors yesterday, and they were all agreeing that the price of lumber has come down substantially just in the last couple of weeks. So if you're in the negotiation process or whatever.
So Patrick McCord is very in tune with this. He saw a price spike that was going to happen on drain tile, sewer pipe, that kind of thing. And we also had 60 grand that we had to spend by the end of last year from a grant we got from Albertson Safeway. They gave us $100,000. We'd spent 40 roughly. And I came along, you know, this was like October of last year. And I said, hey guys, we got to spend that 60 grand or we lose it. It's got to be spent by the end of the year. And Patrick said, hey, we're going to see a spike in the price of these couple of things. And so we bought it and we're able to stick it at our contractor's site and not use it until now it's all on the ground. But they said it saved us like 25 grand by buying it ahead of time. So definitely watching those things. I mean, I think if we see that we're close enough to a phase that we can buy some stuff and slings and 2x4s or whatever, then do it.
So
Yeah.
sounds like you don't have much problem getting all the food that you need.
Food is not the issue. Absolutely. Food is the issue for the client. Food is not the issue for us. We get between subsidies, between donations, the gleaning at the stores, we have no problem getting food. It is operations that is our biggest issue. Yeah, for sure. Jim.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the venue for it, but do you want to talk about the commitment that Rotary made and how we can work that out?
Yeah, write us a check.
Look at that lady standing right next to you or right behind you.
Rotary made a commitment. This was a couple of years ago. This has been going on for a long time, right? A couple of years ago to put 15,000, is that right? Towards refrigeration on site.
Okay, as a treasurer, the reason we haven't written a check yet is that we want to double that or increase it with a district grant that would give us another $10,000. But it has to be, you know, for a specific thing. So that's why we've held back. As soon as we're ready to purchase the walk-in freezer or whatever it is, then we're going to go after that grant.
Okay. Good.
Can't go to general fund.
I talked to Safina Wednesday night, and you purchased the outside of the refrigerator. She says the guts need to be put into it. So she's supposed to be sending me the information.
She would definitely be the person to talk to. She knows way more about all of us than I do. I'm just a pretty face that comes to talk.
So also talking about that, we're building this building, but we're looking for local help to in kind or just kind of help with make that happen. We'll save a lot of money doing that. So
absolutely.
If anyone knows anyone that has anything to do with the building, let us know. And we've got a kind of detailed list of all the costs that are coming out here this next week, and we'll be able to let people know what we're looking at, what our needs are.
Yeah, we'll basically be going through each one of those line items and going to, you know, local contractors and seeing how they can help us out.
They help.
Are there furnishings or things that you would need that if we did a fundraiser, we would have, like, we're raising money for shelving, we're raising money for something else? Is there
I'm
something
sure
that can be identified with a cost?
I don't have that identified right now myself, but yeah. I mean, you know, one of the things we're going to have is a teaching kitchen. So we're going to have a commercial kitchen inside the food bank that can be used for events, but also teaching people how to use the food that they're given, whether it be on the food bank side or whether it be on the family services side. I mean, I could see a club or a business come along and want to sponsor that whole kitchen. I mean, just think about the, you know, Lake Stevens Rotary teaching kitchen, or you know, you know,
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, what a cool thing.
You just need a dollar value.
100 grand. That's probably.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Do we have any other? Thank you so much, Doug. We do make a donation to Lake Stevens Education Foundation in your name as a thank you for bringing us all this great information this morning. Okay, is there anything else for the good of the good? The good? Okay, so I guess we're adjourned. Have a great weekend, and we'll see some of you over at Brian's Clubhouse. After the meeting. And don't forget Bob's party on Saturday night. Yeah, here's the flyer. Yes, pick up a flyer. Yeah.
donation form for getting your basket in.
Great.